Hello students, today we are going to solve an isometric projection problem. The problem is states here. It is question number 48 in question bank. A cone of base diameter 50 mm, height 60 mm is placed centrally on an equilateral triangular prism of sides 100 mm and 20 mm thick. Draw the isometric projection of the combination. It's a very simple problem where we have a cone and we have equilateral triangular prism. For cone, the diameter is given as 50 mm and height is given as 60 mm. For a triangular prism, the side length is given as 100 mm and thickness is given as 20 mm. Very, very simple. We have a triangular prism. Above that, we have a cone. So let's start with the problem. So same thing we have here. So since we have a triangle, I use macros. So where I'll take a flat length. The given side length for a triangular prism is 100 mm. And for triangle, we have number of sides as 3. So since it is a equilateral triangle, so I'll use apply relationships. Just click OK. So I got a triangle. But now I have to convert that into a box. I use thin line. I'll just draw a horizontal line over here. And from here, I'll just draw a vertical line. Again, from here, I'll draw a vertical line and from here I'll draw a horizontal line. Now I converted this triangle into an rectangle. So let's measure the values. So like this one, I'll measure it is 86.6, this is 50 and this is also 50 since it is 100. So obviously the other two sides supposed to be 60. This is going to be equal to 86.6. So now let's start drawing a triangle. I use a thin line. So let's start with the triangle. So here it is 86.6, length is 86.6, enter, and it should be at an angle of 30 degree. Now length supposed to be 50, or I can also take 100, like 100, and the angle supposed to be 150 degree. Next I'm supposed to take 86.6, enter, angle supposed to be minus 150 degree. Next going to be, I'm going to join it here. So easily I got it inside. I got a rectangle here. So inside which I have to construct a triangle. So it's very, very simple. Now I'll take a thick line. What are the lines that, what are the ends that forms triangle like this, and the midpoint of this, and here midpoint of this, and here midpoint of this. So this forms a triangle. So now this is triangular prism. The height of the prism is given as 20 mm. So I can pick any one of the vertical, any one of the corner, and I can take height as 20 and 90. So easily I got the height of the triangular prism. Now I'll just pick the triangle. I'm not going to pick the entire rectangle. I'll just pick the triangle, use move tool, turn on copy command, then place it over the tip of this. Now I'm going to join from here to here, and I'm going to join from here to here. So this completes a triangular prism. Now I'm going to delete the hidden edges, like this is an hidden edge, so it's not going to be visible. I can also delete any one of this edges because of course they are all not visible. So I can just use trim and I can trim off those edges which are not going to be visible. Now I have to find the center of the triangle, above which actually we have a cone. Cone of base diameter is given as 50 mm and height is given as 60 mm. First I'm going to draw. Before that I'm going to find the center of the triangle. I'll just draw a median. I use thin line. I'll draw a median from corner to opposite edge midpoint. So I have to pick the midpoint over here. So this is the midpoint of the triangle. Here I can just use this as a thin line. So this is just for our reference. So from this I have to draw a cone. So I'll just go with a cone. Cone means base diameter is given as 50 mm. So I'll use 50, 30, 50, 150, 50 minus 150 and 50 minus 30. Very, very simple. Now I use arc by 3 point. So from here I'll pick a midpoint. I can use thick line directly. So I'll pick a midpoint. Here also I'll pick a midpoint. I have to draw tangent curve. From here I'll use a midpoint. I'll use a midpoint, tangent curve. Then from here till here, midpoint to midpoint. Then from here till here I'll draw a midpoint. I use a tangent curve. So here I got the cone. I have to find the center of the cone again by drawing the diagonal. Here if I draw a corner to corner, I'll get midpoint. So height of the cone is given. Before that I can just place this cone at the tip of the triangular prism, at the top of the triangular prism. So I'll use move. I don't need a copy here. I'll pick the midpoint of this. I'm going to place it exactly to the intersection. So here I have to be carefully pick the intersection. So if I'm unable to get the intersection, use tools, intelligent sketch. Here you are supposed to pick intersection. So make sure the intersection is selected, otherwise you won't be finding intersection. So more or less sometimes intersection is not required, but if you need it one, so you have to turn it on the intersection. So next I'm going to delete all the construction line. I just need a midpoint. So I can just keep it. So this is the midpoint of the triangle anyways. So now I'm going to take the height of this. Again, I'm going to pick the intersection, and height of the cone is given as 60 mm. So I'll take 60. Then I'm going to draw a tangent. Then from here, I'm going to draw a tangent. Once I'm done, now I'm going to delete all the lines. Like these are all lines which are not required. These are all just a construction lines. I can just delete those. You can also keep it, it depends. So, and I'm going to make this as a visible line, thick line. So this is going to be visible, and hidden edges I can just delete those. I can use trim. I can trim this, I can trim this, and I can also trim this, I can also trim this. So since it is an axis, I'm going to convert this into a chain thin line. Yeah, so this completes the problem. The only thing left out is I have to convert this into ISO scale. So select all of this, go to move. In move tool we have a scale tool, turn off the copy command. So in scale factor 0.816, press enter. I can just keep it here. So what are the things that I have to show here? I just draw a horizontal line on either side, and I can just use distance angle between, and I'll just show this and this. The angle is 30 degree, and I'll show this and this. The angle is 30 degree. So I think this completes the problem. So very easy. And if you find it easy, and if you find it good, please share with your friends and subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll meet you in the next problem.